Hello there. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, all the way back in 1977, during the original time of the original Star Wars movie, there was a particular sound and there was a particular style of music that was beloved throughout the entirety of the galaxy, and that was space jazz, a very particular branch of music throughout the entirety of the Star Wars mythos. But suddenly, for some unknown, inexplicable reason, the entirety of the name of the style of music changed, and it was called Jizz. So today I'm going to make it my own personal mission to delve into the music known as jizz, to find the very particular instruments that are used in this music, the style of music in general, the various amount of artists that continue to do music throughout the entirety of the Star Wars universe, and which ones are most popular, and everything else in between, to find out what really makes jizz jizz. So without further ado, here we go. But first, as always, we must go through a little bit of a breakdown. Amongst aficionados in the Star Wars universe, there is a saying: a jizz band without a bith has its work cut out for them. A jizz band without a clue horn should find a new gig. Jizz was an upbeat style of swinging genre of music, and most notably performed by Friggin' Don and the Modal Nodes, as well as Max Rebo Band. Friggin' Don and the Modal Nodes were most known for playing in spaceports, especially on Tatooine, while the Max Rebo Band was most notably found in Jabba the Hutt's palace, while also on Tatooine during the time of the Galactic Civil War. And the Max Rebo Band was well known for their songs like Galactic Dance Blast, Jedi Rocks, Kick the Ranant, La Petite Neck, My Hearts Belong to You, Ode to the Master Chef, and Ode to the Radioactive Ruin, while Friggin' Don and the Modal Nodes were mostly known for Mad About Me, Tears of Aquana, Dune Sea Special, Worm Case, Solitary World, and the Sequestial Passage of Chronological Intervals. And while the Max Rebo Band and Friggin' Don and the Modal Nodes were two of the most popular jizz bands in the entirety of the Star Wars universe, there were many others like Balabo Baker's All Bith Band, Ever Orbris and his Galactic Jizz Whalers, Hutt, Friggin' Don 2 and the new Modal Nodes, and the Soznels. With a vast variety of musical instruments being found in many jizz bands throughout the entirety of the Star Wars universe, like the bass boil, the bandfill, the clack bebox, the Dorian beshkalel, fanfare, gas and string drum, jizz box, the clue horn, the mood synthesizer, the nalgaron, the omnibox, peel rod, balloon shrouder, and the slitz horn. One of those I just made up, and I bet you a bottom dollar that you cannot tell which one it was. But some more information on the bands that actually were mentioned but never went into full specifics on. There was the actual band called Friggin' Dan 2 and the New Modal Nodes, which was a musical group on Tatooine that often played in the aquarium on Mos Eisley's Motel Nebulous. There was also Balabo Baker's All Bith Band, which was on Nova Station's Big Boom Cantina during the Yuuzhan Vong War in Legends of Continuity. And of course, there was also the very famous band called the Sozenels, which were a jazz band or a jizz band during the time of the Galactic Civil War. And many critics actually accused a completely different band called Hova Mex and the Blur Tones of mimicking the Sozenels. And they were a band in the Inner Rim territories founded around the time of the formation of the Galactic Empire, and they were basically outed as copycats that were basically copying the Sozenels because of their great success throughout the entirety of the actual Star Wars galaxy. But of course, jizz, like many other different genres of music in the Star Wars galaxy, also had various subgenres, like jizz whale, abude, glitz, and jats, which all had their own various undertones and which all had their own various different styles of performing. Of course, one of the several different kinds of genres of music that was associated with jizz was jats, which was a very popular form of music during the time of the Galactic Republic and the Clone Wars, but unfortunately during the time of the Galactic Civil War, it became outdated, began a revival, and it was because of Fritz Roy, who was a very popular jizz musician who was extremely experienced in the flan horn, who basically started the revival of jats music in general. Another style of jizz music, of course, was albade, which was a musical form sung during the morning time, usually depicting daybreak, and is often associated with romantic events between two lovers. So, more or less, kind of like a variation of music that was more depicted as romantical and sensual. And then there was also the subgenre known as glitz, which was a progressive offshoot of the genre known as jizz, but we really don't know anything much about that other than its progressive roots. And of course, there was another variation of music that was associated with jizz, and that was, of course, called jizz wail, which was a genre of music that was developed by a quartet that was performed in a crowded square on the capital of the planet of Eucerion. But sometime during the Galactic Games of 27 BBY and during the Imperial era, the spacer known as Gideon heard jizz wailing in an establishment on the planet of Centaurus and played it on a red ball jet organ, which was the only couple of handful of times that jizz wail had ever been heard throughout the entirety of the Galactic Republic or the New Republic. And unfortunately, for however much people do like the music known as jizz in the Star Wars universe, there's not really a lot more information on that I can give you aside from what I've already provided. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and basically keep listening to jizz music and keep following your heart. I will see you in the next video. I really hope I don't have to do this again.